Um, so one of those people that think that popular brands are overpriced. I think they are also overhyped, and I also think that they are not always the best people out there, or the best, yeah, the best company that make product. And I'm talking about tech-related products, by the way. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I think that popular brands are overpriced, and why I think that we are just spending a lot more than we need to spend for products and services that we could actually get for cheaper and maybe even better from the competitors or even from the new kids in the block. So as a designer and as a new YouTube content creator, I'm always looking for brands. I'm always looking for products that I think that are affordable and that can serve me and pretty much help me achieve the same thing that I want to achieve. And one thing I've learned while doing this is that you see these popular brands out there. They're not the best brand. They are not the guys who would give you what you want. They are popular. They are out there. People know them, but does not necessarily mean that they are the superior brands to the brands that are not popular. And I'll tell you why. So I'll give a comparison here for this particular argument that I have, which is popular brands are not always the best brand. As a matter of fact, I think that the underdog brands are sometimes more better than the popular brands. And hear me out. Just hear me out. I'll give you an example. I'll start with this mic. And this is the mic I use currently. This is the Monowave T5. Now, there is a alternative to this mic that is a bit more expensive, which is the Land Black M2. The Black M2 is a very popular mic out there. You see a lot of TikTokers, a lot of people who kids use this mic a lot. It's similar to this. It's just the same size, but you would see the white thing that it has on it, yeah? It's more expensive than this mic. And so you would think that because it's more expensive, it's popular, people use it out there, it means it's better than this mic. But that's not the case. It's not. They are the same thing. As a matter of fact, this is way better than that mic. I don't know if that makes sense. This gets app support, this gets things like, multiple level of noise reduction, and even have things like voice effects, and you can manually switch between stereo and mono. And then you have several carrying cases that the Black M2 did not come with. But you would think that because it's more expensive, it should come with more stuff. But that's not the case. Another example that I will give you is my other mic that I use, which is a 55AM8. Now let's compare that to the Shure SM7B. I know that's a crazy comparison to make here, because the Shure SM7B is like right here in terms of quality and in terms of price. And my 55AM8 is somewhere around here in terms of price and in terms of quality. But what exactly is a mic supposed to do for you? A mic is supposed to be able to allow your voice be heard clearly, yes. And they both do that, if you ask me. Now, why the Shure SM7B is around 500 USD, that is if you're just buying the mic without the amp and without the cloud lifter, that is the basic price you will get. The 55AM8 comes at around 60 USD. I know the price difference is crazy, but guess what? When you compare them by sound, this is what you get. Literally, in terms of difference. It goes from here, where the price is, and it goes to here, where the sound is. And I'm not saying I've tested this myself. I'm not even an audio head. I wouldn't know much of a difference, yeah? But I've watched several people do these things. I've watched several audio heads do the reviews, and they all kept saying the same thing. They do not sound that far apart as the price sounds or the price seems. So you will think that for a mic that is around 500 USD and a mic that is around 80 USD, to 60 USD, I mean to say, that the price difference would also reflect that distance in the pricing. But the sound difference rather does not reflect that. As a matter of fact, you would think that 55AM8 is sold for around 450 or 400 USD if you're going to compare how different it sounds. Now, another thing that you would obviously get with brands that are popular is that obviously they get good build quality. That's the one thing you would have to trade off when you're buying brands that are popular. Sometimes you don't get good build quality. They're made out of plastic, sometimes cheap plastic, sometimes aluminum, and sometimes you will never get customer support. But aside from all of this, you still get the core thing that you're buying. You still get the core thing that you're purchasing, which is the product itself and what the product can be used for. Now, with the Shure SM7, obviously, it's made with metal. It's more durable. If it falls down from your hand, chances are it's not going to fall apart. As compared to my 55AM8, if that falls down from my hand, chances are it may shatter. But then the question is, in what use case scenario would that fall down from my hand? I mean, if I have that strapped up to the mic arm, at what point would it fall off? I don't know if that makes sense. So all of these things that you are a trade-off that you think that you might need, if you think about it carefully, you might not even need those things. The build quality might not even be a problem. I mean, also compare things like your Apple AirPod Pro 2 with alternative, which would be like the Soundcore Liberty ANC4, also made by Anker. The price difference is crazy. So the Apple Pros will go for around 250 USD, and the Liberty 4 NC will go for roughly 670 USD. But the sound difference is not so much. If you ask me, like, the sound difference is not as much as the price difference. I don't know if that makes sense. So now with the Liberty, you have your app that you can obviously, tune your EQ to however you want it to be, and you can do your customization, and you still have your ANC. But with the AirPod Pros, you don't have that flexibility, at least not to the extent that you would have with the Liberty, for NC. So you're paying less price and you're getting, more functionalities that still serves you well. What are you trading off? Again, build quality. But does that really matter? And I'm comparing for this I would say Nigeria would be our internet, for instance. So let's take Airtel and let's take MTN, for instance. Now, MTN sells more expensive than Airtel, if I'm correct, yeah? I know MTN used to sell for around 50K, when Airtel used to sell for around 30K. Now, Airtel, that's for 5G precisely, for 5G. Airtel now sells at around 80K for 5G because it's no longer in the market. I think MTN is still in the market, but they sell more expensive. But Airtel gives you unlimited, MTN doesn't give you unlimited. Now, the argument obviously will be MTN is more superior, MTN is everywhere you go, but that depends on where you're staying. For me, for instance, I have good MTN coverage in my house, but I also have good Airtel coverage in my house. So in that case scenario, why would I want to spend more for a brand because it's popular when I can spend less for a brand that still serves me well and still gives me the same thing that I want, and maybe even more? So this is me telling you that when buying a product out there, it's fine to get things that are popular, it's fine to get things that are trendy, and I think people buy that for emotional reasons more than logical reasons, because you want to feel like you have the thing that is out there, the thing that is new, and you think you may have the best, what it's called, not the best features. But think about it again and try and give the underdog a chance. Try and try them out, and see. You may be surprised as to what they can offer and how much better they would be. Expensive does not always equal superiority. So the fact that it is popular does not always mean that it is the best. Popular brands are out there because of marketing. They have more finance to push their marketing. They have more money to be able to put themselves out there as compared to brands who are not so popular. It does not in any way make them superior in terms of the deliverables as compared to the guys who don't have enough money to push in. For marketing, popular brand does not always guarantee good products or good services. It does not always guarantee that you will get the most out of your money that you've paid for. This is my 2 cents on why I think that popular brands are overpriced, and why I think that the underdogs or the new cats, should be given more chance, and why you should also, try them out before you, go over to the popular guys. But again, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and we can have the argument there. Peace, guys.